Hello again. It is about 2 weeks before Christmas. Sorry, I got the sun in the background, but I am continuing to work, trying to improve every property I've got, but this piece of dirt I actually own, so I'm a little more apt to spend and invest in it. So come across a bunch of fruit trees on sale at Home Depot. So I've got this here is a Kiefer pear, and I probably got a half a dozen of those, some apple trees, some persimmon trees, plum trees, you name it. I've got about 35 or so fruit trees to plant, and it never stops. No rest for the weary. But the hope is, one day these pears and apples and persimmons, they all drop at different times of the year, and they can draw some deer onto this property here and just add that much more value to it. I've got about an acre food plot here, run a feeder year round, plenty of white oaks, red oaks, water oaks, you name it. I planted probably 24 sawtooth oaks as well. So trying to make it more of a year-round food source to attract and hold deer all year, and not just early season or certain times of the year. So that's what we're working on now. Got the shovel, wheelbarrow, some garden soil to mix with this Georgia red clay, and we'll see what happens. As you can see, I've already been planting some out here, so got a few trees already in the ground. So hopefully in the next few years we'll have some fruit, and we can continue to update as these trees grow. I did the scratch test to make sure all these trees are alive, so they're all very green on the inside. So hopefully I can keep them that way, but y'all stay tuned. Hello again. Just wanted to do a follow-up video here on some of these fruit trees I planted. It's been a couple months since I showed y'all in December what I was doing out here, but I already got a lot of green, a lot of leaves popping through. So not quite spring yet, but they're coming in strong. And there's one of them. I'm about 6'2", and this one's a little over my head. Got another one right there. Those are all Kiefer pear trees. Supposed to be real good for the deer and the wildlife. These here, I don't know if you can see these. These are probably close to 10 foot tall. I planted these a year before, so they've had an extra year to grow, and they're doing really well, super well. So pretty happy with what's going on with these trees. I got some peaches over here, peach trees right there with the pink flowers. They're starting to come in, starting to grow a little bit. Looks like the pears are all that's putting on leaves right now. Here's a couple. This is an apple tree right here. It's got a little bit of green, so it's starting to come alive. And I've got a bunch of sawtooth oak trees as well. In the fall, most of the hunting season, they'll be raining acorns once they get mature. But I planted probably 24 sawtooth oaks down through here. But you can kind of see behind me the rows of trees I planted, and had to put cages around them to keep the deer from eating and nipping all the limbs off of them. But pretty excited to see what this turns into. One day we'll have a bunch of fruit out here. Maybe the kids can come pick it, and also it'll have quite a few varieties. So just about, summer all the way through winter. There ought to be something between all the plums, peaches, pears, persimmons, apples, the crab apples. I think that's all the different fruit trees I planted, but between all that, there'll be something to kind of attract some deer. This is the front half of the property. It used to be an old cow pasture, and just the old field. I don't plant it or anything. I do run a feeder up on the hill up behind me, but I like to keep drawing them this way. That way back in the woods, they come out in daylight. So I think it's gonna be good. A couple of these trees should be putting on a little bit of fruit this year, but it'll probably take a couple of years. So I'll show y'all on down the road as these trees mature. Hopefully we'll have some fruit and progress to show you guys. Maybe even video some deer underneath them, but we'll see. Just want to give y'all an update. All right, good morning, everybody. It's February 17th, week of Valentine's Day. This time of year, I like to get out and get some minerals. Mineral sites going again. This is what a deer really need to feed in the minerals the most. I know a lot of people focus on feeding deer during the season, but really the key times of the year is that December through March, where there's really no not a lot of mass crops, not a lot of acorns left, very little browse. So this is the time of the year when you can really get some of those deer to hang around that you've had all year if you don't want them to leave your property, if you can provide them with some minerals and some food sources. So I'm going to go and put out a couple 1,000 pounds of feed today, put some minerals out, maybe bush hog some tall grass areas, and for some reason the deer really like to eat on the fresh bush hog stuff, even if it is February and it's all brown. I guess it's kind of like hay to them, like hay it is for cattle. But do a little bit of that in some fields, and we'll take you along with us, bringing the whole family today. So out here pumping up tires on a trailer and a tractor and just getting everything ready to go. But we'll see y'all out there. All right, we are off. Hunter says cheese. Where are we going, Charlie?
The property.
Yeah, you gonna help spread the deer corn or the feed?
Yeah.
All right. They're excited to go help.
Yeah, we love helping.
We'll see y'all out there.
Help, yeah.
Won't be long, and they'll be killing the deers and putting them on the wall, right?
Yeah.
All right, say bye.
Bye.
All right, we made it. Now we're gonna go feed the deers.
Yeah.
Charlie's gonna help me. We're all having fun.
Yeah.
Let's go to the feeder.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Work never stops. We went and got the feeders filled and cameras taken down, did some bush hogging, and took down a box stand from a property that is being sold. So today I'm working on getting that box stand up. Thankfully I've got this tractor here to lift the walls. I just toted the platform back here. You can see behind me a nice green food plot. This is a small tract of land, but every year we seem to get one off of it, so figured it'd be worth the effort to put in a nice enclosed box stand with some glass windows, especially with youngins growing up, getting older. They'll be wanting to hunt more here pretty soon, so we'll see what happens this year. But here's where we're at now. I'll show you where we're at in just a few minutes. Hopefully we'll have some walls up and a roof here very shortly. All right. Without losing too much blood, I was able to get it up by myself. There she sits. That stand was 12 foot high, but I cut it down to about 6 or 7 foot 4x4s and added a bunch of extra braces. So it's solid. It sits good right here on this field. It's got a vertical window in it to shoot a bow out of. Plenty of windows for kids to shoot rifles out of if they want to, or crossbows. So looking good. Just got to put some windows in it and add a few more screws to the outside, and she'll be set for this upcoming season. All right, got the deer view windows in.
Yeah.
The whole family can fit inside this thing.
Yeah.
It is 6x6
Yeah.
and tall enough for me to stand up in without hitting the roof, but pretty good views. Food plot there. Probably end up putting a feeder right over here for next season. See into the hardwoods and all. So yeah. Want to hunt in here next year?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Stay tuned. Maybe we'll kill a deer out of it. All right. We're back here at the transplant box stand, and brought the feeder with me this time, and went to set it up last night and had a pretty big pop-up thunderstorm come in right while I was trying to do it. So it actually blew it over and bent the top of it a little bit. So I've been working on getting that straightened out so the lid would go on. But I think I got that taken care of. And we'll probably set it up right here. It's about 20 steps, 20 yards, give or take. Probably a little bit less to the box. And it's right on the edge of this food plot. I don't like putting feeders in the middle of food plots just because there'll be about a 20-foot circle around it from them feeding constantly where nothing will grow, and it'll just get hard as a rock. So I try to put them off to the edge where I don't mind not planting, and the grasses and the food plots don't grow as well on the tree lines anyways, with all the competing roots of the trees and all. So gonna try to set this thing up real quick. Maybe we'll get it a couple 100 pounds of corn in it. I got a camera I'm just gonna throw on it to see how quick they get used to it. All right, got the feeder up. Got the camera on this old cedar stump. Got the feeder up and running. It's got a couple 100 pounds of feed in it. Got the camera looking out over the green field, kind of towards anything that wants to come in. Box stand 20 yards. Should be a jam up spot. I haven't decided if I'm going to plant this in the spring or just let it grow up and get pretty tall over the spring and summer and come in and bush hog it and just kind of try to build up some soil back here, because this is probably the best it's looked. It took a lot of work to get this food plot to be this green, but you can see there's some weeds in it, but mostly oats, wheat, some rye grain, and some clovers mixed in here and there. But pretty happy with it. Seems to be pulling in some decent amount of deer this year, especially now there's nothing. I mean, the woods are slap bare and there's not really anything left for them to eat around here in the Georgia timber. So but threw a little buck jam apple out on this corn, maybe get them come check out this feeder a little bit quicker. But pretty happy. I think we'll get a deer or two on video this year right here to share with you guys. But hopefully they'll get accustomed to this feeder pretty quick. I have another one on this property just a couple 100 yards from here, so they should be pretty used to this style feeder. So hopefully they jump right on it pretty quick here, and I'll keep them fed all summer long, and come September we'll be ready to sling some arrows.